Hello. Welcome back to another episode on MegStories. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on new content. Ex-girlfriend dates a neckbeard and tries to get me back. I'm long-winded, so prepare for a long story. I just remembered this story and couldn't stop myself from sharing it. My longest relationship was with a girl named let's say Remy, that started junior year of high school, took a break for 6 months at one point, then ended freshman year of college. You could say we were each other's first love. We had a great relationship, but it was limiting us from other life experiences one should have as a single college freshman living in a new city, so she bit the bullet and broke things off. I did not handle the breakup well at all. I really embarrassed myself in the weeks following the breakup. I was a codependent little wuss, so I had to go into denial to cope, and I honestly thought there was still a shot for us to get back together until one sorry incident days after the breakup where I was actually wearing an old t-shirt of hers. Was a boy's shirt, anyway, and she actually walked right past me on the sidewalk with her new boyfriend. She probably saw me and just pretended I wasn't there. It was pretty bad. It took me years to get over her actually, not too proud of that. I was immature. But years after our breakup, when the wound had time to heal, an old friend called me up and asked me if I wanted to see the Simpsons movie and that Remy and her boyfriend might come. That was no problem with me. I didn't care who I saw it with, I was pretty stoked to see it. We hung out before and after the movie and it was clear this dude was a total neckbeard. You know the satisfaction you feel when your ex's new BF, GF is WAAAAAAAAAAY uglier than you? Yeah, holy shit, I was feeling pretty fucking cool. This dude was fat with a beard that covered his whole neck, obviously, but he was trying to dress like a regular dude. His personality was all neck beard, though. He was either trying to impress us or make us look inferior to him in front of his girl, but he would only interject to criticize something we were talking about. If we were talking about a band, instead of saying, "Oh hey, I know that band, too," he'd bring up the most pretentious thing to criticize them about. It was pretty fucking annoying. Dude was so fucking impressed with himself. Competing for Remy's attention wasn't even on my radar, so I ignored his obvious posturing. It was over 5 years after we had broken up and it felt good to finally be apathetic about her romantic life. When she invited me to hang out again, I didn't even think twice about it. I thought it would be cool to get to hang out as two adults in a platonic way. We got some food and ended up back at Remy's house where I noticed there were a couple piles of blankets folded on a sofa. I asked her if she had a house guest or something. She explained that her new boyfriend, the neckbeard, spent the night the previous night and she had him on the couch with a blanket. The second blanket was for me in case we drank too much and I couldn't drive. Remy didn't dwell, but she did casually mention that she met her boyfriend through his mother. His mother begged Remy to ask him out because he couldn't get anybody to date him. I didn't want to laugh, so I may have seemed empathetic. I know I wanted to laugh right in her face, but I'm pretty sure I gave an appropriate and polite response. I actually felt kinda bad for both of them. She's drop-dead gorgeous and he was a spineless neckbeard. It really didn't add up. I think she was in a rough patch in life. Even though Remy offered for me to stay the night on the sofa multiple times, I was sober enough to go home and I found an appropriate time to leave. She just had some minor surgery that rewarded her with a Vicodin prescription and she promised to give me one, so I had to wait what seemed like forever while she was upstairs rummaging around her room. It seemed strange that she would misplace that. Finally Remy came downstairs to say goodbye, but before I could leave, she was pressed up against me and we were making out. I kinda just stood there in shock. She apologized and I went home. At first I was pretty shocked, but pretty soon I felt more euphoric than a billion fedora tips. As always, I didn't notice any signals. Honestly, I'm pretty fucking oblivious. So if I wasn't so surprised, I may have gotten lucky that night. I think my reaction scared her off. Then I remembered her boyfriend. I remember saying to myself, Pantera's last album isn't so shitty now, is it, asshole? Fucking pussy. Your girl tried to fuck me. Followed by maniacal laughter. He wasn't a fedora wearer, but goddamn, to this day, I can't picture him in my memory without a fedora on. Remy and I actually went to a movie together soon after. I thought maybe we were going to pick up where we left off the other night, making out, not dating. but the night ended with her going home alone and calling her neckbeard boyfriend immediately after the date to let him know the movie was over. That seemed a little weird. I imagined him asking her to call him when she was done seeing a movie with her ex-boyfriend. Then I felt bad for him. No doubt she also saw him as pretty pathetic. Days later she informed me that she broke up with him. It was a clear signal that she wanted me to pursue her, but I decided not to because I remembered that she broke up with me twice before, and even though we were much younger at the time, I would have felt like such a sucker if I dated her a third time. Leaving her single with the aftertaste of a neckbeard boyfriend felt like a good way to conclude any romantic loose ends we may have had. I think that pissed Remy off because a few years after that we started getting lunch semi-often, and when I went to her birthday party, I realized early that she was with a new guy who was actually about as good-looking than me, if not more so. But scrawny though, at least. Anyway, I left that party early feeling only like a partial sucker. I may have been flirting with the idea of dating her again, and amused myself on the way home with the memories of the fat and obnoxious neckbeard that drove her into her ex-boyfriend's arms. That's why you don't want to date a neckbeard. They will make you do crazy things like that. TLDR. Ex-girlfriend's new neckbeard boyfriend makes her crazy enough to try sleeping with me and even consider dating me again. Comment 1. In general, it's not a great idea to marry your first serious relationship because you don't have a basis of comparison. You may think it's good when it's really fucked up and codependent because you have no idea what a good relationship looks like. Of course, there's always the risk that it was a good relationship, and that's very sad to see it end, but ultimately I think it's good to have some life experience before settling down. Comment 2. I like how you left before Remy could do stuff like make out with her new boyfriend where you could see. I'm sure girls don't need to be driven into your arms by neckbeardos in order to like you. Now for the next story. An ex-girlfriend crushed me without explanation. Preamble. So a few years ago, I dated this wonderful girl. She was beautiful, we shared tons of interests, she was my best friend, we were looking at apartments together, the whole 9 yards. We even discussed the possibility of having kids together, a major first for me. The first time we celebrated her birthday, I hit a home run. She had lost her grandmother a few years prior to Alzheimer's-related complications. It's a disease that runs in her family and she's horrified by it. We chatted before she went to bed the night before her birthday, and after she tucked in, I went online and made a sizable donation to the local Alzheimer's fund in her name and in memory to her grandmother. She called me from work happy, angry the next morning because she cried at her desk when she checked her email in front of her coworkers. She said it was the kindest gift she'd ever received. Fast forward a year, she ends things quite abruptly, and rudely without any warning, and in the months following refuses to speak to me to provide any form of closure. I also learned from friends that she started living with a new boyfriend within months after we ended. I was obviously devastated by this for a while, but then her birthday came up. I decided that I still loved the idea of donating to Alzheimer's, even if I wasn't dating her anymore. That being said, I've still done the donation in her name for the past 2 years, and she's gotten the email every year since. Edit. I don't include her grandmother in the new donations, that would be cruel. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.